leading to World Academic. About 97,738 enrollees, which include public servants and their dependents, currently have access to medical care, and over 426 surgeries performed under the Orange's health insurance scheme in less than 2 years of existence in Ondo State. General Ondo State Country Health was praised to commemorate the 5th anniversary of the commission. Osrc
among others, converged on Akure, the state capital, for a briefing organized by the Ondo State Contributory Health Commission to mark its 5th anniversary. The Special Advisor to Governor on Health, Professor Simidele Odimayo, appreciated the state government for the developmental strides witnessed in the health sector.
I want to appreciate the governor for his commitment to the health of the people. The style with which our governor leads is sterling and is worthy of commendation.
The Director General of the Contributory Health Commission, Dr. Abiodun Oyenei, reeled off achievements of the Commission in the last 5 years to include provision of quality healthcare services to enrollees of various schemes of the Commission.
We have enrolled 50,503 vulnerables across 203 wards in the 18 local government areas of the state under the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund program that is codenamed Ilera Loro Scheme. The vulnerables consist of widows, the elderly, people with disabilities, women of reproductive age group, pregnant women and children under 5. Medical services including renal dialysis have been provided with over 9 intermediate and major surgeries performed so far.
Others in their goodwill messages thanked the government for its support, calling for the extension of the schemes to the people at the grassroots.
We have to know that we cannot rest on our oars until everybody in Ondo State is covered under this scheme.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Banji Ajaka, commended the Commission for achievements recorded so far, assuring of government's commitment towards enhancing the health sector.
We thank God the Contributory Health Insurance Commission is here and the scheme is ongoing and the workers of Ondo State are enjoying it, including myself, and the other people are expecting us to come on board so that they can benefit.
As part of activities to mark the 5th anniversary, the Commission offered a free medical outreach to the people of Ondo State, as well as a sensitization tour across major streets in Akure, the state's capital. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
As part of efforts to enhance their welfare and improve productivity, National Youth Service Corps members deployed to Ondo State will henceforth receive a monthly stipend from the state government. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa at the swearing-in ceremony of the 2024 Batch B Stream 1 Corps members at the NYC Permanent Orientation Camp, Ikare Akoko also promised to rehabilitate the facilities at the camp, including provision of solar-powered lights. The governor urged the Corps members to be dedicated and ready for the task ahead, as they will be exposed to daunting but fulfilling challenges of national development. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole completes the story.
Get ready for inspection, Your Excellency. The first assignment performed by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa on arrival at the National Youth Service Corps Permanent Orientation Camp in Ikare Akoko was to inspect the Guard of Honor.
May I have your permission to dismiss the guards into the guards room, Your Excellency.
Thereafter, it was time for a special display. In his address of welcome, the state coordinator of NYSC, Mr. Samuel Pepu, thanked Governor Aiyedatiwa for his presence at the event, noting that it is the first time a governor will visit the orientation camp in the last 13 years.
The orientation program is a highly regimented program which has been specifically designed to imbue in you those lofty ideals of tolerance, perseverance, teamwork, and patience.
The Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Saka Yusuf Ogunleye, said the governor's presence is a testament to his love and commitment to youth development. He charged the corps members to contribute their quota to the development of the state.
To many distinguished prospective corps members, I want you to see your mobilization and consequent deployment as a divine arrangement, and I am confident that this reality will prompt you to settle down in the state and serve the nation consciously.
Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who congratulated the corps members, urged them to be fully focused on the assignment of serving the nation meritoriously with passion and dedication while contributing to the development of the state. Governor Aiyedatiwa reiterated the determination of his administration to adequately cater for their welfare and security throughout their service here in the state. The governor promised that his administration will not shy away from efforts that will bring lasting positive memories to corps members in the state.
As we therefore induct you into the national service of our country today, we face a greater challenge to prove that the future of our country and coming generations will be secured in your hands. This is why you must eschew all negative tendencies and rededicate yourselves with renewed vigor and determination to the task of bringing about positive changes in your various assignments. By the power conferred on me as the governor of Ondo State, I also approve the grant for all of you your various places of assignment. Going forward, you will get stipend for your various places of assignment.
Governor Aiyedatiwa later inspected the facilities at the camp with a promise of upgrade, including the provision of solar-powered lights to illuminate the environment.
I've gone around and I've seen the hostels, the toilets, the entire environment. The area is clean, I can say that. Disinfectants, the bathroom, the toilet, but because they are old, some kind of renovation needs to be made. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
A total of 1,423 corps members are expected to be part of the mandatory one-year service for the batch after taking the oath of allegiance. From Ikare Akoko, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
A headsman, Issa Ibrahim, along with 4 others, have been sentenced to death for kidnapping and killing his father, Adamu Ibrahim, after collecting 3 million naira ransom. Other convicts sentenced by the State High Court sitting in Ede include Latif Bello, Abdurrahman Soliu, Bello Ibrahim, and Jola Nobi Sahid. They were arraigned on 4 counts of conspiracy, kidnapping, and murder, along the mother of Jola Nobi, simply known as Ajibola, was later discharged of the offenses. They pleaded not guilty to the alleged offenses, but the prosecuting counsel from the Osun State Ministry of Justice, Moses Faremi, called 3 witnesses, including 2 sons of the deceased and a police officer. He also tendered evidence against them, including a stool and club recovered from the house of Jola Nobi, where the deceased was kept at Owodiede after he was kidnapped in April 17, 2017. They kidnapped Adamu from his house and took him to the house of Jola Nobi, demanded ransom of 10 million naira, and later reduced same to 3 million naira, which was paid and delivered at Shagamu in Ogun State. While the deceased was in their den, the veil on his face fell off and recognized his abductor, after which they killed and dismembered his body and threw the parts into Osun River to cover the crime. The deceased, through their various counsels, denied their involvement and entered a no-case submission. The presiding judge, Justice Kudirat Akano, while delivering our judgment, said the prosecution counsel was able to establish that the convicts committed the crime of conspiracy, murder, and kidnapping as established in their confessional statements, and the evidence given by an eyewitness who is also a prosecuting witness. The federal government has warned that unauthorized disclosure or leakage of official documents capable of impacting the country negatively is a punishable offense. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, gave the warning at a workshop in Abuja. Represented by the Permanent Secretary in his office, in the office of the SGF, Dr. Namdi Umbairi, the SGF said unauthorized leakage of sensitive official documents constitutes felony and there is no defense for such, either in the Constitution or Freedom of Information Act. Akume recalled that the government had devised measures in the past to contain the leakage of sensitive official information through the issuance of circulars in August 2021. In the meantime, the federal government, FG, has ordered the computation of accrued pension of 7 federal civil servants. A memo by the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation said the move was in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and will focus on employees who were employed on or before June 30, 2024. According to the memo, the move would enable the government to plan ahead of time towards the early release of the entitlements of the workers. The federal government has failed to release funds for payment of accrued pension rights in the first half of 2024. The FG had reneged for the full year 2023 as no funds were released despite budgetary provisions. The House of Representatives has resolved to probe alleged exploitative and predatory pricing practices against Nigerian businesses by foreign multinationals operating in Nigeria. The House also asked the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, to immediately halt the unfair business practices perpetrated by some foreign businesses operating in Nigeria. The decision to embark on the probe followed a motion moved by Babajimi Benson, APC Lagos, during plenary. Moving the motion, Mr. Benson stated that international business ethics and standards require businesses to operate in a fair, healthy, and efficient manner while ensuring competitive trade practices at home and abroad. However, some of these companies have not been doing that. The House mandated the Committees on Aviation, Commerce, Petroleum, Upstream and Downstream, and Foreign Affairs to investigate the circumstances surrounding the alleged predatory pricing practices. In addition, the House asked the committees to investigate the alleged unethical business competitive behaviors by foreign airlines and IOCs and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. A bill to allow Nigerians living abroad to obtain the national identity number has passed the second reading at the Senate. The bill, sponsored by the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barrow Jibrin, was first read in June. It seeks to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act 2007. It provides for the establishment of a national identity database, and the NIMC is charged with the responsibilities of the maintenance of the national database, the registration of individuals, and the issuance of identity credentials. It seeks to enhance the efficiency and inclusivity of the identity management system through comprehensive provisions designed to improve and update the extant provisions in line with global best practices. Recent shootings, first at the Presidential Palace and then at the site of a public broadcaster in capital Ouagadougou, have fueled suggestions that Burkina Faso may be edging towards another mutiny amid a growing security crisis in the country.
We can see the country has been in a total war against armed groups in the country, and in this war, everybody that is not totally in the side of the government or the government's perspective on the situation has been at the risk of being victimized. The law has been used to target in a discriminatory manner human rights defenders, but also independent voices that have been critical of the government.
Burkina Faso, our humanitarian colleagues say that the country is facing unprecedented humanitarian crisis with 6.3 million people in need of humanitarian support and protection. We, along with our partners, are supporting the government's efforts to meet people's immediate needs.
Police have fired tear gas and water cannon at protesters across Kenya as demonstrations against a controversial finance bill continue, even after the president said he would not sign it. In the capital city, Nairobi, riot police fired tear gas and charged at protesters on Tuesday.
As our president, he should be addressing us in a good manner. He doesn't address us like as if we are trash or we are some people that doesn't exist in this world. At least a little bit of respect, we will stop coming to the streets.
Our president is very ignorant. He has no idea. He has no clue. He's so out of touch with reality. So this is us cleaning up the house. It's very important. It's very mandatory.
Pezakian and ultra-conservative Sahid Jalili came out on top in last week's first round. The country is facing an economic crisis, with both candidates promising to improve living conditions. Kemisola Ojomo has details.
This bazaar in Tehran has been one of Iran's biggest commercial centers for centuries, but business isn't as profitable as it used to be. Luxury items have been increasingly unaffordable and stores stock goods for lower-income buyers. Many Iranians have little faith that the situation will change anytime soon.
Until a few years ago, I could have gone on a trip with little money, but now I can go maybe once every 2 years. Elections changed nothing. I didn't vote and I won't attend the next round.
This sense of hopelessness led to a record low voter turnout in the presidential election last week. For decades, Western nations have imposed sanctions on Iran over its nuclear development program, leading to soaring prices and high rates of unemployment. But some people are holding out, hoping that the election might bring positive change.
Only a small part of society enjoys good conditions. The rest are facing huge difficulties. After decades, what we need is not slogans, but action. Just a few people are controlling the power. I don't believe the elections are a solution, but still, it is the only hope.
Iran is rich in oil and gas reserves, but sanctions have limited Iran's access to advanced technology, preventing it from processing its natural resources into high-value industrial products. As a result, it sells crude oil to some nations at prices far below international rates, leading to low revenue. The presidential candidates are trying to win over voters by promising a stronger economy. Conservative Saeed Jalil doesn't see sanctions as a challenge. He believes Iran should seek new markets and partnership to create more jobs for young people.
They say without having relations with the US, we cannot increase our revenue. But despite sanctions, there are so many opportunities and growth potential. We will have a leap in increasing domestic production with people's participation in the workforce.
Reformist Masoud Pazkian says normalizing international relations will end sanctions, attract investment, and enhance business opportunities.
No government in history has achieved growth and prosperity within a cage. We must first interact and exchange with regional countries, and then other countries worldwide to grow and prosper.
Whoever wins the presidency faces a dark tasking of reviving an economy crippled by years of mismanagement and alleged corruption, as well as being excluded from the global financial system. Kemi Solojomu, Osrc News.
Democrats shocked by United States President Joe Biden's dismal debate performance urged him to be transparent about his mental fitness as he faced the first call from his side to drop out of the after last week. He stumbled over his words and lost his train of thought, exacerbating fears about his age. Congressman Leo Doggett became the first Democratic lawmaker to publicly call on Biden to make way for another candidate, saying he was hopeful the president will make the painful and difficult decision to withdraw. Former Speaker of the House and a Democratic Party heavyweight, Nancy Pelosi, said it was legitimate to ask whether Biden's debate disaster was indicative of a deeper problem rather than a one-off. On Tuesday, Biden blamed exhaustion from international travel for his debate flop. Hurricane Beryl is roaring through the Caribbean, causing havoc on several islands. It's now heading towards Jamaica. Beryl reached Category 5 status before being downgraded to A4. At least 6 people have died, including 3 in Grenada and 1 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now the report.
Scenes of devastation in Grenada after Hurricane Beryl landed a direct hit on the island of Cayuga. Things were as bad on another small island in the St. Vincent and the Grenadine archipelago.
Union Island has been devastated. The reports that I have received indicate that 90% of the houses have been severely damaged or destroyed.
It's the first time a Category 5 storm has formed this early in the Atlantic hurricane season. Meteorologists says that due to record-breaking heat in the North Atlantic, which in turn causes bigger storms. Many scientists believe that all is due to global warming. The St. Vincent and Grenadines Prime Minister said he was angry.
Pay a lot of lip service to the consequences of climate change,
but they're not taking the issue very seriously. They are causing this climate change. They're the ones who have benefited through the emissions, and you cause the problems, and then you leave us on the front lines, and we pay the price.
Barely pounded the tiny holiday island of Martinique too.
We were more or less expecting it because 5-meter waves were expected. But nevertheless, this is the first time, even during a cyclone, that we've seen the sea as rough as this. It's really the first time this has happened in St. Lucia.
Thankfully, so far, there has been relatively few reports of deaths or injuries. But this isn't over. Now the hurricane north leans toward Jamaica and the more than 2 million people living there. Later on in the week, it's expected to hit Mexico. Omosheke Olodmode, Osrc News.
Pakistan has launched a polio vaccination campaign to immunize 11 million children under the age of 5. At least 6 cases have been recorded this year, but security threats, harassment of medical teams, and cross-border movement are hampering efforts to eradicate the virus. Shewande Tola has details.
It's early morning in Sahabi district in northwestern Pakistan. Health workers accompanied by armed police officers are going door to door as part of a polio immunization campaign. They administer the oral vaccine to children younger than 5 and mark each house to keep track of the numbers. It may look like a simple process, but the work is risky and the pay relatively poor. Some health workers and polio survivors say they receive only $5 a day and no transport or health benefits.
This is the only job we have to earn a living for our families. Administering the drops is not easy. We are under constant threat of being attacked, even killed. But we don't have any other option. Either we're killed in the field or we face economic hardship.
The police officers keep close eyes on the team with their assault rifles as they are ready to foil any attack. The government says at least 102 polio field workers, officials, and security personnel have been killed, 6 of them this year.
Providing security to polio vaccination workers is the most difficult duty we have. It's not only them who are under constant threat, we are equally vulnerable.
The work is carried out predominantly by women in conservative countries where men are not allowed inside houses. Polio immunization is risky business in Pakistan as dozens of polio workers and policemen have been targeted over the years. But that has not dampened their spirits in a bid to come to grips with a virus that is still endemic in Afghanistan and Pakistan. The Prime Minister recently chaired a task force meeting along with philanthropist Bill Gates, whose foundation is funding the campaign. He says he's committed to rooting out the virus.
We were almost close to wiping out polio from the face of Pakistan. But then suddenly, unfortunately, things took a negative turn, and it has again come back in certain parts of Pakistan. But that does not mean that we have failed in our efforts.
However, scientists have cautioned a large population cross-border movement and vaccine hesitancy are challenges to completely eradicating polio. Shewande Adetola, Osrc News.
Torrential rains in northeast India have sparked heavy flooding, killing at least 4 people. According to reports, more than 1 million people have been impacted by floods in the And that's Word at Noon. Many thanks for watching. Good afternoon.